Yeah, listen, about that economic recovery. We're not in a recession. We're actually in a depression. The phenomenal thing that is interesting, you know, when you see these pictures and history books or whatever show all these things, you know, all these pictures and whatnot out of the original Great Depression, 1929 to 30, you know, mid 30s or whatever. Even you see all these different pictures, people standing in soup lines, holding signs, need a job, blah blah blah. There were no government handouts back then, like they are now, at least. They did give I talked to my wife's uncle. He's 93 years old, by the way, and he had mentioned to me that they, you know, if you had a family, you could basically get some kind of like rationing card and go and use that. And there was a lady that would come to your house, I don't know if it was every week or every month, to give you more of these things based on how many people and kids and whatnot you had in your house. You could buy a certain amount of bread and that kind of thing with it. He mentioned though that if you weren't in a house and didn't have, you know, a family, you're kind of on your own. So all these people we see out there in the bread lines, at least in the pictures from the early, you know, the first Great Depression, these people would technically be what you might call a homeless person today. And even if they had their own house at the time, if there was no other person with them, no other family, they were pretty much stuck going to a soup line kind of thing. So today we have an EBT card that the government gives us, you know, or people who need it. You know, the people who would be standing in line now have an EBT card, basically. So you would never know, standing at a grocery store, Walmart, wherever you are, that the person right behind you or right next to you, or how many of the people that I look around right now while I'm in the grocery store and see, you know, can visually see. I wonder how many of these people are basically have food stamps. You know, it's just an EBT card. So you'll never know if it's a food stamp or not, because it's just swiping it as if it was their own. You know, as if it was coming out of their bank account. So you see that, you know, you would never know. If you looked around, you would never know how many people next to me are using an EBT government funded card, right? A food stamp card, we'll call it. Although there's one place you can kind of find out just how busy those people are on a certain day. Now naturally, if you want to get the cheapest food, the cheapest price, etc., just to get you by, whatever you gotta do, you need to you gotta pinch every penny. You're gonna go to Walmart. You're not shopping at Publix, you're not shopping at Sweet Bay or anywhere else. You are going to Walmart because you're just gonna get it the cheapest you can get it there. So if you had an EBT card and it came due, or they replenished the funds on the 1st of every month, you would probably see an influx of people at Walmart the 1st of every month. But what are the chances that when I say the 1st as in midnight, the stroke of midnight, the 1st, that at midnight you would see a stampede of people flourishing in Walmart? Now you wouldn't have that in an economic recovery. There would be no need for that. But in a depression, people who are strapped and have already used up their money, their government funded money that was given to them, food stamps, would naturally be first in line. I got to get to that grocery store the second I get funds on this card because I need food, my family needs food, therefore I'm going to be there at the stroke of midnight to get it. Now let me read this to you. At the stroke of midnight, a growing number of Americans are lining up at Walmart, not to cash in on a holiday sale, but because they're hungry. The increasing number of Americans relying on food stamps to survive the sluggish economic recovery has changed the way the largest retailer in the U.S. does business. That's an interesting choice of words, but this is a mainstream article, by the way. The increasing number of Americans relying on food stamps to survive the sluggish economic recovery. Sluggish economic recovery implies we're in recovery mode. It's just slow or sluggish. Yet this article, and what I just said, which pertains to this article, pretty much says this is not any kind of use of the word recovery. Sluggish or slow or turtle speed or fast or mediocre or anything with the word recovery and economic recovery after it is complete crap. But I love the mainstream media. You gotta love them. You know, sluggish economic recovery. It's just not as fast as it should be, so there's just a few more people getting these EBT cards and blah, blah, blah. Yet the last time I reported on it, which was a year ago easily, maybe more, or maybe longer, the people on food stamps, when Obama took over versus that time last year, it had more than doubled, I believe. And it was like 25,000 or 25 million people turned into like 48 or something million, 50 million people in the span of just a couple of years as of that writing. So, sluggish economic recovery. No, I think it's more like a sluggish economic depression that's getting worse, and that's actually speeding up. It's not quite so sluggish. Carol Johnston, Walmart's senior vice president of store development, said that the store managers have seen an, quote, enormous spike. Not a sluggish spike, not a sluggish amount of people coming into the new food stamp program, but an enormous spike in the number of consumers, love that word, shopping at midnight on the 1st of every month. That's typically when those receiving federal food assistance have their accounts refilled each month. Quote, we'll bring in more staff to stock. We'll also make sure all of our registers are open. Some people may think at 12:01 a.m. Walmart's very quiet, but in a lot of our areas of the country, 12:01 is a big day, or a big night for us actually, Johnston said. Becca Reeder and her husband TJ Fowler are one of the families shopping before the sun rises, at midnight of course. When NBC News visited their home 6 days before the 1st of the month, they had no milk in the refrigerator. Among the few things left were water, bacon grease for the dog's food, a little bit of apple juice, cheese, and tortillas. The dog is even in a depression. Bacon grease for the dog's food. You might as well put him out of his misery if you're feeding your dog bacon grease because you can't afford to feed him. Get rid of the damn dog. Find a home. Do something. For God's sakes, the dog's suffering too. Wow. And that's one family. Now you know why also the pound, right, they're completely stocked up full of animals, killing them suckers left and right because, again, citizen, no, I'm gonna get a dog and get a cat, I'm gonna get all these things. Economic, or excuse me, not a depression, sluggish economic recovery. Man, sorry there, Fido. Gotta send you packing, boy. I can't afford to. Fido. It's either bacon grease, which will kill you in a few years, or I send you back to the pound and hopefully someone finds you. And since I don't have the heart to poison you to death, I gotta send you back to the pound. Or some people, because their heart, they feel like, oh, my heart, I gotta keep the dog, I gotta keep the animal, I love it so much, I'll just make it work. Well, how are you making it work? What are you feeding them? The cheap dog food? Rat food? You know, mouse food? And what do you feed it? Bacon grease. No, seriously, I'm being serious right now. What are you feeding your dog? Bacon grease. You're not kidding. No, I'm really thinking of bacon grease. Boy, that's gotta be real healthy for your loved one, which is your dog. So their heart, I want to keep it alive, and as long as it's with me, it's alive, it's not being put to sleep. And that's the same mentality, these bozos who have a dog in their backyard, chained up, never see the dog, never play with the dog, here's some food and water, you can run around with this chain around your neck, and bark till you're blue in the face all day and all night, keep the whole neighborhood up, because no one messes with you, you need some attention, and you're going insane, and you're barking out of control. But it's better than being in the pound, so I feel good about myself, so I'll keep you chained up and in a prison, like an elephant in a circus or somewhere, that ultimately loses its mind and kills the handler, and then we go kill the elephant as if the elephant did something wrong. Or you go there and you see the cats pacing back and forth, the big cats, you know, lions and tigers, or you know, puma, whatever's in there, and the thing's like, everyone's looking, hey, rattling the cage, hey, and the thing isn't even looking at you, it's just pacing back and forth along the side of the fence, pacing. How do I get out of here? How do I get out of here? How do I get out of here? Ooh, there's a spot. No, I checked that spot 50,000 times already. Never mind. It's my mind's going crazy. I thought I could get. Oh, no, another spot again. I keep thinking I'm seeing a mirage now. The cats sing mirages of freedom. You know, we call that a zoo. Like it's good to, you know, it's a good thing to do. So us humans get to see animals that we couldn't normally see in person. You know, we get to go to the zoo and see them. So we have this mentality of we got to care for everything. So this particular person has got to care for their dog. It's better than putting him up to sleep and to get killed and adoption. He'll never get adopted because I never trained the sorry bastard. He doesn't listen. He doesn't do anything. So no one in their right mind would adopt my dog because I'm a sorry parent to the dog, if you will, or a pet owner. So I gotta just leave the damn thing in my backyard chained up, feeding him bacon grease. Back to the story. Sorry about that. The couple and their 2-year-old son, Miles, live in Nampa, Idaho, about a 30-minute drive from Boise. Reeder and Fowler married in September. She recently had to pawn her wedding ring to help her support the family. Wow. Quote, "As long as I got my family, I'm good," she said. The newlyweds are both certified nursing assistants, which there should be no short of that position. I mean, especially in a sluggish or any economic recovery. A nursing assistant, you can't, they should be knocking the doors down with job openings. However, they're both certified nursing assistants. In other words, they went to college too, probably, but have been unable to find work in their field. Fowler is commuting an hour and a half round trip to a part-time job flipping burgers at a fast food restaurant, and Reeder is not working at all. This is the standard typical story. Get used to it. Got your big time college education, and I've been working at regular dead-end jobs my whole life. I'm tired of just making ends meet. I need to do something, and I need to do it now, and it's not getting any better. Life is getting harder. Things are getting more expensive. I need to make my move now. I'm going back to college. I should have did this 5 years ago. Damn it, shame on me. I'm doing it now, though. And then you graduate and you get your little degree. Now they're going to go into nursing. Hey, I got my degree, son. Hey. Oh, what's that? There's 100 people behind me that also have that degree. Matter of fact, I'm just a, associate's degree. There's BA and other higher level degree. And they're willing to take the job without any kind of talk about it, just whatever you offered. And they're fighting over the job. Like you guys are spending hours looking through resumes. And I just graduated, have no experience in the industry, and I'm supposed to get that job. Damn it! Now I've got a college loan to pay back. I'm going back to the same crappy job I had before. And as a matter of fact, they're not even hiring because they replaced my sorry butt when I told them I was going back to college. Now I can't get a job. My husband, in this case, the other guy, he has to drive an hour and a half to flip freaking burgers on top of both of our college education we got to pay back. Can you see the problem with this? Proud to be an American. Fight for the rights of every man except our own. We gotta go help those people in Libya. We already did. We gotta help Syria's next. I heard there was 15,000 people killed in the last several months alone. We gotta step in there. We've gotta help those people. We've gotta give them billions of dollars now of funding to help those people. We gotta help them. When in reality, we don't want to help anybody. We just want to get rid of the regime and instill our own guy, known as the Muslim Brotherhood, in there like we did with Libya. But we're going to tell everyone they need education and new clothes and new sanitary conditions. We got to pay for all that. What's that? You are driving an hour and a half to work every day to go to flip burgers? And you're an American? And you're complaining? You're even complaining about us wanting to spend billions of dollars to help people in need in Syria? What's wrong with you? You're not patriotic. What the hell's your problem? No, that's because they need the help and they live here. They're a citizen. They've been paying taxes and everything to help pay for that crap in Syria and elsewhere. And now you're telling them, screw you. Here's a debit card with crap on it for you to get barely any money on it for you to make ends meet for the month while your spouse works and flips. Oh, wait a minute. Your spouse flips burgers? You're not qualified anymore. Gotta take that EBT card back. Hand it over, sucker. Don't go and spend it because you're no longer qualified. You got a job? Not qualified. Have a nice day. This is exactly what Lindsey Williams said. I've said this 100 times already. 2 years ago, plus, Lindsey Williams, quote, in 2 years, approximately, in 2 years, you won't recognize America. And when I read this story, that is not the America I was taught about, told about, anything in school, even my own thoughts prior to me waking up, thought that would be America. No, but since I've been awake for many years now, I understand when Lindsey Williams says this is not going to be an America you will ever recognize in 2 years. And I know exactly what he was saying then. I even said it then. I remember posting stuff on Facebook. Joe, what the hell are you talking about? It's fine. You're so negative, blah, blah, blah. So negative, huh? You know what's negative? Never mind. Doesn't even matter. I don't even need to go there. Let me just finish reading. Yeah, me waking people up, that's negative. Even though the news is bad, but it's extremely important for you to know that's bad because it doesn't make me feel good, and I need to feel good. I've been taught and conditioned in America and by modern society that you need to feel good first and foremost. I don't care if you lost your job, feel good. I don't care if you only can get a part-time job and you have a massive degree and you owe $70,000 in student loan debt, and you have to flip burgers and you have to drive an hour and a half for a part-time, not even full-time job. I don't care. That doesn't make me feel good. So you need to feel good and just tell yourself little la-la stuff every day. And if someone comes around and punches your mouth loose with the truth, you just pick yourself back up as if nothing happened and continue on in your sheepish ways. They never imagined they would need food stamps to get by. Again, it's America. I thought it was America. And it's America? Yeah, it's America. You don't need food stamps here. There's land of the free, jobs everywhere. Everyone wants to. America's Got Talent TV show. People, I come to America. I can do these things, and this is my one chance. This is it. I can make it. I can make the $1 million. Actually, your thing sucks. You're not talented at all. You lose. I hate this stupid show. I'm never coming back. But wait a minute. I thought you liked America, you just came over, this is great. Now that we told you you suck, you have no talent, you're not going to win the show. Matter of fact, you're not even going to the Vegas week. Now you don't like the show anymore, and let me guess, America sucks all of a sudden. Right. The typical modern, westernized, aka American point of view, closed-mindedness. What's for me? It's mine. I want it. I don't want to hear nothing else. I want that. Can't have it. Now all of a sudden I hate you. Incredible. Quote, "It's kind of a pride thing," said Reader. "We are going to get out of this. One day we will, and we aren't going to need food stamps forever. By God." And Mr. Reader, don't you know we're in a sluggish economic recovery? Therefore, you're right. One of these days in the near future, which might drag on for a decade or more, but the near future, you're gonna get there, son. And if it takes 10 years of flipping burgers and getting kicked out of your house because you can't make the payments and living on the street in freaking destitute conditions, by God, one day you'll get a job, son. And then you can sing that song with me. Proud to be an American, flipping burgers for the man. Yeah, that's my idea. That's what I was taught America was. Biggest chance of making it anywhere in the world is America. Don't go anywhere else. If you can get into America, that's it. And yet, the last statistics I saw of immigration, more people were leaving America, immigrants, than ever before in any recorded history of America. As of last year, even, as a matter of fact. And here we are arguing about illegal immigrants and stuff. Incredible. They're leaving by the droves. Reader is one of nearly 46 million Americans who depend on federal assistance for food, according to the Department of Agriculture. Nearly 15% of the U.S. population is part of the food stamp program, now called SNAP. Nearly 15% of the U.S. population. And you have to understand, there's 300 million Americans, right? So that's 15% of that. What we're not talking about, it's not each individual American, you know, in a sense, that needs food stamps. How many of those are families? So, you know, if you have a family of 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, whatever, that includes all of them in one little fell swoop, food stamps. So, you know, I'm not sure how they put these statistics together, however you want to look at it. I mean, I guess you could still call it 15% one way or the other. But when you add up the families, the number of families that are in the food stamp programs, that's pretty large. It becomes pretty significant. Quote, I actually have my little technique I use. I take the palm of my hand and I cover the card with the palm of my hand so that you can't see the top of it when I'm swiping it. So the person behind me in line doesn't. They don't see the food stamps. So he's embarrassed. They're embarrassed they have to use a food stamp card. At the very top, if you look at it carefully, you can tell it's a food stamp card. But he's so embarrassed, pride issue, that I just cover and swipe it. I don't want anybody seeing it. Well, that's alright, bozo. You don't have to, because all we have to do is go to Walmart. Matter of fact, I had to go on the 1st of next month. Maybe old JSnip4 should run into his local supercenter, Walmart supercenter, and just take a little camera view around of how hopping it is over at midnight at Walmart, just to get an idea of how many people are in my local store. And there's one over there in that city, there's one over there, there's one over there, there's one in every city. Not one, but there's usually multiples. So each and every one of these would be the same result. Midnight madness. Come on, shoppers. We got all the registers open at midnight. That's a lot of damn people. You got all the registers open at Walmart to accommodate the influx of people at midnight on the 1st of every month? Holy cow. Economic recovery. Sluggish economic recovery. Right. Yeah, me too. I've got a sluggish economic recovery too. Matter of fact, my YouTube subscribers, those of you not watching the video ads, man, it's getting a little sluggish. JSnip4's income's getting a little sluggish, guys. I need you to watch those advertisements for me, man. Get a little sluggish. So, come on, get the hell out of here. What kind of crap is this? Just kidding, by the way. Incredible.